The USFL recently announced that they were going to play all of their games in Birmingham, Alabama for the entirety of the 2022 USFL season. And the reason for this, honestly, is mostly due to cost-cutting measures. At the initial startup of the league, they do not want to spend a boatload of money on travel. They don't want to spend a boatload of money on, I'm sure, the leases for the stadiums. They don't want to spend a boatload of money on potential what might happen because of potential exposures and all of the laws and possible prohibitions that might go into place. We never know with this pandemic, right? So in order to avoid all that, they said, all right, Birmingham, Alabama is going to be our home headquarters. All of the teams are going to play all of their games there. Is that maybe a little bit of an advantage to the Birmingham Stallions, who are a team in the USFL? Probably. But it is honestly, I think, a pretty proactive move in one way. The downside is obviously you don't get the connection to the home fans, which I think really helped the XFL, kind of helped the AAF, even though I think the AAF was less successful at really tapping into those home markets. And you could say that was also because the league wasn't intended to really do that. They just wanted a cash grab. But the XFL model, I think, really worked because those were teams like the DC Defenders, I always talk about them, that were able to really tap into those home markets and make those teams feel like a part of the city, like a part of the community. And I think that's going to be lost on this initial USFL season. Hopefully they're going to be able to finish the season. First of all, we hope spring leagues can finish the season. So hopefully they're able to finish the season, and then afterwards they're able to go into places like Detroit, like New Jersey, like New York, all these different places, Houston, that their teams are supposed to be from. The other big news that the USFL recently announced was their last 4 head coaching announcements. So we knew that Mike Riley, Bart Andrus, Kevin Sumlin, and Todd Haley were already announced as head coaches in this league, but we got 4 more key announcements from the USFL, and one of them is a whopper. Our first one is the Birmingham Stallions hired Skip Holtz, and if that name sounds familiar, you might just be right, I should say, because that kid is the kid of Lou Holtz. Sorry, that coach is the kid of Lou Holtz. He's a kid compared to his father, though. But the son of Lou Holtz, he was a coach at Notre Dame for a while. He was actually, I believe, the head coach at Louisiana Tech most recently. Didn't last there past that last season. So now he's coming over. He's going to be the head coach of the Birmingham Stallions. We're going to see how that goes. We also have Kirby Wilson announced as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Maulers. Kirby Wilson, a less known product as far as head coaches go. He was with the Las Vegas Raiders, I believe, in 2020. He had a stint with the Cardinals, and he was mostly a running back / wide receiver coach, I believe. He didn't really have much to do with head coaching. This is his first stint as a head coach, so we're going to see how that goes. And for the New Orleans Breakers, we have Larry Fedora. Now, Larry Fedora, you might remember as the offensive coordinator at Baylor in 2020. He did not last long there, to say the least. That offense was not great. He also had a stint as the head coach of the University of North Carolina football team. And, he was responsible for a few things, including Mitch Trubisky. So take that however you want to take it. Lastly, the biggest name, and I saved this one for last for a reason. It is because this is the one that's going to piss a lot of people off. This is the one that's going to get a lot of people talking, and this is the one that I personally just think this has to be a meme. This has to be a meme by the USFL. Lastly, the coach and GM of the Michigan Panthers, Jeff Fisher. Yes, former coach of the Houston / Tennessee Oilers and Tennessee Titans, and the coach of the Rams, Mr. 7-9 himself, Jeff Fisher, will be a head coach of a professional football team in 2022. God help us all. Last we saw Fisher in the NFL, he went 4-9 with the Los Angeles Rams in 2016. That team was not great. As a Rams head coach, he went 7-8, 7-9, 6-10, 7-9, and 4-9. He just loves 9 losses. If you got an over/under on 9 losses for the Michigan Panthers, I think you know exactly where to go with that one. But Jeff Fisher is the guy. He's a meme at this point. People expect mediocrity out of him. And the weird part is though, outside of maybe Kevin Sumlin, he probably is the best head coach out of this bunch. I mean, no hating on Bart Andrus, no hating on the Todd Haley or the rest of these guys, but Jeff, like some of these guys, they're not really well known. They didn't last long in their last jobs, and if they did, they fizzled out pretty quickly. So to see Jeff Fisher be one of the more prominent head coaches of this bunch is interesting to say the least. But I'm excited to see what he can do, and by excited, I mean I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch his team implode because that's what Jeff Fisher teams do. Look at him with his last few years in the Tennessee Titans. I mean, every single year, oh, this team has potential. This team has potential. And then boom, boom, boom. After that, they had a miraculous 13-3 year, 8-8, 6-10, fired, ruined Vince Young's career on his way out, by the way, and then got hired because he's Jeff Fisher. Damn it, he's got the most didn't he have the most losses in NFL history or something like that? He was the longest tenured head coach, and he had the most losses. This guy is great. This guy's great for the USFL. You need this type of guy. You need a guy who has that NFL experience, that NFL credibility on one hand, but you also need a guy who people are gonna watch just to be like, oh my god, Jeff freaking Fisher, the meme. It's gonna be great. Look, USFL. I don't agree with the decision necessarily to play all the games in one place. I'd rather have them have those community ties. But Jeff Fisher coaching football in 2022, you outdid yourself this time, USFL. Thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also, remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.